Hey everyone, it's me, Maria. Super excited to dive into the Word again with you this week. I just finished up my study through 1st and 2nd Corinthians, and now I'm reading through Galatians. So I'm excited to see what words of wisdom I can take away from this letter of Paul. Some of the backstory on the Galatians is that this letter was written by the Apostle Paul around 50 AD. The Galatians were introduced and converted to Christianity by Paul. Paul writes this letter to the Galatians to address some of the issues that they've been facing. To make a really long story short, the Galatians were practicing some Old Testament laws and forcing new Christians to hold to these laws. They were sending a lot of mixed signals in terms of what they preached versus what they practiced. And mostly it seemed like they just did this to avoid persecution from a group of zealous Jewish leaders who weren't happy about the conversion. So bottom line, the Galatians were people pleasers, and Paul saw them slipping down the slippery slope of legalism. Today we're going to talk about what the Bible says about people pleasing. Galatians 1:10 says, "Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to people please? If I were still trying to people please, I would not be a servant of Christ." This was one of those, oh my gosh, I need to highlight this, memorize it, and put it on the background of my phone kind of verses. Like, you know what I mean, right? But anyway, so as I'm reading this, I'm feeling super convicted because, as you guessed it, I am a giant people pleaser. Not sure how I got this way, but nonetheless, I am who I am. But that's really not acceptable. And if I'm being a people pleaser, I can't be a servant of Christ because that's literally what it says in verse 10. So I decided I wanted to look, what does it mean to be a servant of Christ? And Romans 6:18 says, "You have been set free from sin and have become slaves to righteousness." All right, I can follow that. So to be a servant of Christ, I need to become a slave to righteousness. Now, the word righteousness, I feel like it's one of those words that I hear thrown around a lot. And sometimes I think that people know exactly what it means, and other times I think people nod their heads and pretend to know what it means because it's one of those words that, is what things that Christians say. So I decided that I wanted to look into it and define it for you, and also help myself understand it a little better. Luckily, my pastor covered the definition in a sermon a few weeks ago. So righteousness is to be guiltless, blameless, perfect, holy, pure, clean, and upright. Whoa, hold up. To be a servant of Christ, I need to be a slave to righteousness. All right, you're still with me, okay? But that means to be guiltless, blameless, and perfect. So that sounds like a lot of pressure, and I'm definitely going to fail. And I'm sure you're thinking the same thing. I'm pretty sinful. I know that everyone else is too, so I know I'm going to fall short of this. Luckily, we're covered by God's great grace. Ephesians 2:8-9 says, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not from yourselves, it is a gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." On my own, on your own, on our very best days, we can never be good enough for Christ. Yet through his death and resurrection, God's grace covers us. So why seek the approval of man when we can seek the approval of the righteous one, Jesus Christ? Through him, we can do anything. My challenge to you is to inventory areas of your life where being a people pleaser is drawing you away from God. Dig deep, because it could be that you resent people in these specific areas where you're people pleasing, and you may even end up sinning because of this. So focus your eyes on Jesus, and he'll take care of the rest. I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every week about beauty, fashion, faith, food, and more. Thanks for watching.